It got up a bit of a sweat, and you could always pass the shovel to someone else while you had a breather. When the hole was 2 metres or so deep, they'd round up all us kids and throw us in. To any casual observer, it would have looked really bizarre. Distraught kids trying to avoid the odd piss or chunder that rained down on them as they scrambled to climb on one another's shoulders to get out. Sometimes it was a water hose at full pressure. All quite inventive and funny, as long as you weren't one of the ones in the hole. I was born on November 14th, 1947, in downtown Sydney, not long before my family, my parents Greta and Harold, and my two older sisters, Pam and June, moved from Auburn, in the heart of the sprawling, landlocked western suburbs of Sydney, to Collaroy, a beachside suburb on the Northern Peninsula. Mum often told me stories of her life in Auburn, of the semi-detached weatherboard duplex with the cake shop out the front. She ran that shop for years with the help of one of my aunties, baking the cakes in the house. Then they turned the cake shop into a corner store and with even longer hours of hard work, managed to get ahead in spite of the hardships associated with finding direction after the war. The house we moved to in Collaroy, where my younger brother Chris was born, was called Westwood Ho and was once a doctor's home. All the big houses seemed to have names in those days. I'm not sure it was the fashion or because the owners took such pride in their accomplishments. My earliest memory is of lying in my pram beneath the big palm tree that grew in our garden, crying as I was dive-bombed by an aggressive Maggie. My next is of myself screaming with delight as Grandpop lifted his legs to tease me as I came tearing along the cement path on my dinky, trying to run over his toes. Two of Westwood Ho's distinguishing features were the huge gable facing Pittwater Road and a profusion of massive hydrangeas growing on the Stewart Street boundary. However, the most impressive thing about the house was its location. Right on the beach, just over the back fence, literally, were golden sands and the Pacific Ocean, putting me in a perfect position to become a surfer. In those days, Pittwater Road was the main route to the northern beaches from the city. It had only one traffic lane in each direction and a tram line that ended at the Narrabeen terminus, about 3 kilometres north of Collaroy. As a suburb, Collaroy was well positioned in relation to Sydney, not being too far out of the city. Growing up in that environment was real Alice in Wonderland stuff. The sand and waves right in the backyard made an incredible kids' playground, and we could play act at anything we dreamed up. From my front door, the local infant school was 800 metres north, and across the road from it was the primary school. The same distance to the south were the Collaroy Shopping Centre, the park at the beach, and the infamous Collaroy Surf Lifesaving Club. Looking back, it was probably lucky that the family moved to Collaroy a few years before the rivalry between the surfies and rockers, or Westies, as we called them at our beach, with all the ugly connotations the name carries, had erupted into an all-out war. Strictly speaking, I suppose someone bent on testing my loyalty could have called me a Westie too. I recall Mum once warning me to come straight home after I'd finished surfing, as it had been reported in the Friday evening newspaper that rockers were going to be swarming all over the northern beaches that weekend, looking to have a final punch-up with the surfies. Buying Westwood Ho put my parents under tremendous financial strain. Making the payments on such a grand house was really difficult for Harold and Greta Young, as they only had one income at the time. To make it all possible, we always had boarders living with us. I never kept the same bedroom for too long, and in 1962, Mum decided to open a kindergarten in one end of the house. Harold did the renovations, and the kindy was a success right from the word go. The idea for Collaroy Kindergarten was all Mum's and was a real stroke of brilliance. Coming from such a humble background and being able to live in style right on the beach was a definite step up for Mum and Dad. They were now a typical two-income, hard-working Aussie couple with bright prospects for the future. When we first moved to Collaroy, Dad started a business called Collaroy Taxi Trucks. I can remember standing on the Stewart